The third portion of Lesson 1.4, Writing Equations of Quadratic Functions. In this lesson, we're just working completely backwards. Given information about the graph, we will generate the equation. There are only two methods we'll use for this. If you're given the vertex as part of your information, we're going to plug it into vertex form, which is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. That's where we'll start. If, however, you're given the x-intercepts, we'll use factored form. And that model is y equals a times x minus p and x minus q. Now, the only variable we still need to determine is the a value. That means we'll need an additional point somehow in the given information. We'll substitute those in for x and y in the two equations above, and then we'll calculate that a value. Let's put this to the test. We have a few examples to go through. It says write the equation of each quadratic function using the given information. Example A gives us the vertex of -2, 5 and an additional point, -1, 1. Our quadratic function then goes through those two coordinates. Since we're given the vertex, we're going to start with vertex form. I'll write out the general template, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. We'll use the vertex for the h and the k, so we'll substitute that in first. Y equals a times x minus -2 squared plus 5. And then I'm just going to clean that up really quick. The double negative makes a positive, so let's make sure that that is simplified on the inside. We need to calculate the a value. What that means then is we'll take that second point and we're just going to plug in for x and y. And then we have some work to do. If we substitute in 1 for y and -1 for x, we still have that a value that's missing in the equation. We'll simplify. Now we need to be careful when we simplify. There's addition and multiplication here that if we mix up our order of operations, things are going to turn quickly. This is all one big product. I'm going to move 5 over right away just so that it doesn't mess with us. 1 minus 5 on the left would be -4. On the right, -1 plus 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. And a times 1 is a. So it turns out that a is -4. That means this quadratic function would have arrows that point to the bottom, and it would be a very narrow-looking quadratic function, or a very narrow-looking parabola. Last but not least, once you know your a value, your final answer, we're just going to substitute that in to our equation. We have y equals a is -4. X minus h is now x plus 2. And then we square that amount, and we add 5 at the end for the vertex. There's the equation that would model the given information up above. That's the process when you know the vertex. Over on the right, we have something different. We know the x-intercepts. Based on that, we're going to plug it into the factored form. Y equals a times x minus p times x minus q. Now, p and q are just those x-intercepts, so we're going to substitute those in. X minus -6 and x minus +3. And again, I'm just going to clean that up really quick. It's just one more row. X plus 6 times x minus 3. Looking at that next part is kind of tricky to figure out, but let's see if we can do it. The given information is that the y-intercept is -9, but that's not an ordered pair. Thinking about what we did in our last chapter, however, we can obviously rewrite it as an ordered pair. If the y-intercept is -9, that means x is 0. And now we have our x and our y. We'll substitute those in our equation, recognizing that if y is -9, and x is 0, we need to substitute in 0 twice on the right-hand side. And just like our last problem, now we'll solve for our a value. Thinking order of operations, we have -9 on the left. 0 plus 6, and 0 minus 3. Be careful here, that's all one big product again, so we multiply. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Negative 18 is being multiplied to our a value. Therefore, to move it over, we need to divide. Fractions are our friends, decimals are not allowed. We have two negatives that make a positive. 9 over 18 reduces to 1/2. Once you know your a value, we're ready to write our final equation. In factored form, we'll have y equals our a value, which is 1/2, times our x minus p, which was technically x plus 6, x minus q, which is x minus 3. And there's your equation given x intercepts. The last part of our lesson for 1.4 has us converting back to standard form. If you're given something in vertex form or factored form, all you need to do is multiply or FOIL to convert back to standard form. Now, standard form eliminates all the parentheses, and you should be in ax squared plus bx plus c form when you're done. Given each example, convert them back to standard form. In example A, we have vertex form initially. What we need to do to eliminate the parentheses is actually write that out twice. That's what it is when it's x plus 2 squared. It's technically 2 of them. Really what's happening here is that we need to FOIL the x plus 2's. So thinking order of operations, we need to get rid of this part first, and we'll FOIL first, outside, inside, last. When we do that, we keep the negative 3 out front for now. X times x is x squared, x times 2, and then there's another x times 2, and then 2 times 2, which is 4. I'm simply going to combine like terms on the inside. Whoopsie, it changed colors on me. Negative 3, that gives us x squared plus 4x plus 4 on the inside of the parenthesis. To eliminate the parenthesis now, we just need to get rid of that negative 3. That means I'm going to distribute it into all three parts just in that parenthesis. And that gives us negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. And negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. That eliminates the parenthesis. But we still have that minus 5 at the end. So the last thing you need to do is simply combine those constants at the end, and our equation should end up y equals negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 17. That is the equation converted from vertex form back to standard form. On the right, do the same thing with f of x equals 2/3 x times x minus 4 and x plus 3. This is originally in factored form. So we're going to multiply everything together, which will include a little bit of FOIL, to convert it back to standard form. Since we already have the two parentheses, let's FOIL those first right away. So first, outside, inside, and last. And we get still that 2/3 on the outside. Well, that's going to be fun. On the inside, though, let's see what we get. If we have x times x, there's x squared, x times 3, x times negative 4, and negative 4 times positive 3. Those are the parts we get on the inside. I'm going to combine like terms, and then we have to deal with that 2/3. We have x squared, 3x minus 4x would be negative 1x, or just negative x, and then minus 12. Now we've got to figure out that 2/3. If we distribute it in to all three parts, we end up with y equals, at least with the x squared, it's not so bad, it's just 2/3 x squared. And 2/3 times negative x is negative 2/3 x. So again, still not so bad. Now for the 2/3 times 12, if we think of it as 12 over 1, 2 times negative 12 would be negative 24. 3 times 1 is 3. This, however, we can reduce. If we simplify 24 over 3, we end up with a final form of y equals 2/3 x squared minus 2/3 x minus 24 divided by 3 is 8. And there's your quadratic function back in standard form. And this is the final lesson that we'll cover for lesson 1.4.